to me, Ka'amchi Yisrael, the month of Elul is a time rich with spiritual significance, and throughout the generations, various acronyms have been drawn from Pesukim in the Torah and other sacred texts to highlight the essence of the sacred period. These powerful phrases don't just offer insights, but they invite us to reflect on our connection to our Creator and our fellow human beings, as well as the opportunities for spiritual growth and self-reflection that this time of year brings. Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. Perhaps the most well-known acronym for Elul. It's drawn from Shir Hashirim. It symbolizes the deep loving relationship between Borei Olam and Am Yisrael, inviting us to draw near to him. Ish l're'ehu umatanot le'evyonim. A man to his fellow and gifts to the poor. Found in Megillat Esther, this phrase reminds us that spiritual preparations during Elul involves not just personal reflection, but also an outward action. Acts of kindness and charity. Ahuv l'ma'ala v'nechmad l'mata. Beloved above and cherished below. This concept, though seemingly simple, carries incredible depth. To be loved on high, one must first be cherished here below. It reminds us that the way we treat others here on earth directly affects how we are seen in the heavens above. So how do we achieve this? By caring for and showing concern for others, whether it's your spouse, a sibling, a cousin, or even the neighbor right next door. We nurture love from above by cultivating love and respect and kindness in our relationships here on earth. And as we approach Rosh Hashana, the more cherished we are by others, the more beneficial it is for us above. Our acts of kindness and the bonds that we create, they ripple far beyond this world. They ascend to the heavenly throne, amplifying our merits and creating a shield, so to speak, a protection for us. And it's through these relationships, through compassion, through generosity, and a sincere concern for others that we become beloved in the eyes of heaven. There are countless segulot in preparation for the high holy days, far more than we have time to discuss here. However, I would like to highlight one that is Baduk Unusa. It dates back 200 years to the time of the Pele Yoetz, and while this may initially seem daunting, let's unpack it together. This segula has not only been tried and tested, but has brought countless miracles into the lives of those who have taken it on with sincerity. It involves completing Sefer Tehillim twice on the first night of Rosh Hashana. Why twice? Because 2 times 150, the number of chapters in Tehillim, equals 300, which is the same gematria as the word kaper, to be forgiven. There are many people around the globe who have taken on this segula and witnessed extraordinary miracles, from long-awaited shidduchim for their children, to mothers yearning for a child, to families struggling with parnasa. All have seen remarkable turnarounds within the same year. There's a practical way to approach it. You can divide Sefer Tehillim among your family. For example, if you have 10 people in your family, each person will recite 15 chapters for one cycle. Doing this twice means each person would recite 30 chapters in total. At an average of 2 minutes per chapter, you're looking at merely 60 minutes of reading. It's just an hour. This segula is both extraordinarily powerful and manageable. It has the potential to bring untold berachot in the coming year. It just takes preparation. Perhaps a chart like this would work for you as well. I'll put it in the link below. As we reflect on these themes of forgiveness and return, let me share a story that brings these ideas to life in a powerful way. There was a man traveling on a train. It was a long, silent ride, but the man next to him was anything but calm. His face was pressed against the windows, his eyes darting anxiously, scanning the scenery as if his very life depended on it. Every time the train neared a station, his body tensed, eyes wide open with like a frantic searching. On most train rides this long, people settle in, they read, they sleep, they maybe strike up a conversation. Not this man. His gaze never wavered from the horizon. Finally, the first man could no longer contain his curiosity. "What are you looking for?" he asked him gently. The anxious man exhaled deeply, releasing the weight of the world from his chest. He glanced at his seatmate, and after a long pause, he began to speak. I suppose I should tell you, this is my first train ride in 3.5 years. You see, I've been in jail. No, he quickly added, seeing the concern flash across the other man's face. I didn't hurt anyone. I made a simple mistake. I stole something in my small town, and the judge, he didn't go easy on me. 3.5 years behind bars. But honestly, the worst part wasn't the prison sentence. It was the shame that I brought on my dad. Everywhere he went, people would point. They would whisper behind his back, "There goes the father of the ganav, the thief." The humiliation was unbearable. And I felt like I destroyed him. We haven't spoken since the day I was sentenced. His voice cracked, trembling under the weight of the memory of just everything. And before I was released, I sent my father a letter. I told him the day I'd be coming home. But I also said, "Dad, I'll understand if you don't want to see me. I know I've shamed you. If you'll take me back, if you can forgive me, just hang one orange scarf at the station. If I see it, I'll get off the train. If not, I'll stay on the train and move on, and I'll disappear from your life forever. I'll start again." He turned back to the window, his face pale and drawn with fear. "That's why I keep looking," he whispered, his voice trembling. "I'm terrified. There won't be a scarf." The man beside him was spellbound. His heart was breaking for the young man's pain, and station after station, they leaned forward together. They scanned the platforms for any trace of an orange scarf. But time and again, nothing. With every stop, the young man's face grew even more anxious. Then finally he spoke again, barely a whisper. "The next stop, that's my hometown." The train began to slow. Both men pressed their faces to the window, the young man's heart pounding so loudly it drowned out the noise of the train. He braced himself, terrified of what he might or might not see. His eyes, they filled with anticipation and fear, waiting for a glimpse of hope, something to let him know he wasn't alone in this world after so long. And as the train pulled into the station, his breath caught. His eyes widened in disbelief. There wasn't just one orange scarf. There were dozens. Scarves of every size and shape fluttered in the breeze, tied to the platform railing, draped on the lampposts, hanging from the trees. And at the center of it all stood his father, wearing the largest, brightest orange scarf of them all, arms wide open, tears streaming down his face, silently crying out, come home, my son." And with a sob that shook his entire being, the young man bolted off the train and into his father's waiting arms. We're that man on the train. Each of us carries the weight of our own mistakes, the shame that gnaws at our hearts, terrified that we've wandered just too far, disappointed the King too deeply. But as we approach the station of our lives, we don't just see one sign of forgiveness. We see an overwhelming flood of his love, scattered like endless orange scarves around us. Kutchu Barichu, our Father in heaven, he isn't sitting back, waiting in silence. No, he stands there with his arms wide open, draped in countless symbols of forgiveness, shouting, "Come home, my child. Please, come back to me." It doesn't matter how far we've strayed, how much distance we put between us and him, Kaviyach, or how we've broken and sad. His love knows no bounds. He isn't angry or ashamed of us. He's ready to embrace us, wipe away every tear, and bring us back to where we've always belonged. All he asks is that we turn to him with sincerity, with everything we have. And in that moment, just as this son found his way back home, we too will find that the home we thought we'd lost was there all along, waiting for us to return. In this incredibly sacred and awesome time of Elul, we all have the chance to take that step off the train, to return to the embrace of our Father in heaven. May this be the year we all come home to the embrace of our Father and our King. May all of Am Yisrael be blessed with a year of boundless sweetness, vibrant health, and overflowing, never-ending berachot. Amen. Shana tova umetuka.